Hello, I'm Kelly, and I'm here at the Penuel Ridge Retreat Centre. This is my second time this year, and I've decided to come here and have a couple of days where this time, rather than dragging myself over the coals and learning about the trauma, because I've been dealing with that since then and I'm in a much better headspace. So this time around, I decided I would come here and just enjoy myself doing foraging and meditating and journaling and tarot and all that good stuff. So what I'm doing tonight is a ritual. Well, not really a ritual, but I'm dedicating this recipe for what I call liver lover. I'm trying to think of another name because that seems a bit ridiculous, because it's a tonic for the liver made with organic orange and dandelion root, which is the scientific name is Taraxacum officinale. I got this from Mountain Rose Herbs. I just don't have enough dandelions to harvest roots enough for this medicine, although it's a really quick, easy recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share, first of all, these are my meager offerings to Kedadwen. That's who I am dedicating this medicine to. And this flower is bergamot, or you might say bergamot. I've also got a little bit of lavender from the garden here. I'll be sharing some footage about all the different plant life I found, but I thought this would be a lovely little offering to her, and I'm using just here as part of the recipe making, just to put the flowers in. It's this little, I'll see if I can come up closer. I got this from Griffinwick on Etsy, who makes excellent one-off pottery pieces. So I was lucky I got the mug that goes with this, as well as a bigger plate, or bowl, sorry, and an oval plate. And it's there's Kununos on there. This is fashioned or styled with the Gundestrup cup, I think is what it's called, but I think of it as a little cauldron, and I thought I'd bring this to the retreat for my medicine making series. But I've got I'm going to light a candle to her, and with the cooking with the deities, I'll be doing actual food like cooking, but this time I thought I'll dedicate the medicines to it just to kick it off. And when you're either cooking or eating or giving a libation to a deity, it's nice to have a few little symbols and gemstones, whatever it is you think of that are aligned with the deity. I'm lighting a candle now and invoking her to come and help us with this recipe and to imbue the medicine with her powers. Kedadwen is Welsh, from Welsh mythology, and in my background I have Welsh on my grandfather's side. She's the keeper of the cauldron, and she's the goddess of rebirth and transformation, which I felt was really apt for me with what I'm going through and have been through. Getting better and better. I feel like I'm transforming. I'm trying to figure out what into in terms of this channel, as well as my career and what I want to do. And I feel like the videos I put out is all information, but I felt like I haven't really touched on the stuff I'm really into, which is learning how to deal with darkness, how to transmute energies. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pike, as well as sharing my gardening and medicine making for next year, because I'm going to be sharing products, including this one, which I might come up with a different name, but at the moment I'm calling it Liver Lover. I'm mental, just FYI. So without further ado, let's get into the making of the liver tonic medicine, and it's going to be consecrated to Kedadwen. All right, here we are. We're going to start with an organic orange, just one for this medicine. And the thing is, we don't use the whole orange, so I'm lucky I get to eat it. So as I eat it afterwards, I will be sharing it, as it were, with Kedidwen. I'll be eating it and thinking of her and thanking her for her energies throughout the making of this medicine. When I went for a walk earlier in the day today, I came across several deer, rabbits, a raccoon, of course, lots of birds, and it made me think of canunos too. And I will be making a recipe for an adaptogen recipe with mushrooms and other goodies. And I'm going to be consecrating that to Canunos, the god of the forest or lord of the forest and animals. And I always think of him when I think about foraging, when I'm looking for medicine, and even when I'm in my own garden, I think of him. So anyway, but now let's talk about Kedidwen. I sometimes use them as the Lord and Lady in rituals, even though they're not really an item. But anyway, this orange was a navel orange. It's important to use organic, and you don't have to be really anal about how you chop it up. Just chop up the peel. And this is a medicine that only takes a week to cure, which is lovely. So, and it's really simple too. I'm not cooking it on the stove top, so in a way it's a bit, not exactly. I mean, she is, Kedidwen anyway, is, like I said, the keeper of the cauldron, and she's also the goddess of the underworld, among many other things. And her magical cauldron contains the elixir of knowledge, prophecy, and inspiration. And her wisdom usually has to do with the darker aspects of power and magic. Whenever I think of medicine making, I think of her just because of her cauldron. So look into her mythology, you know, the way she is included with her story, with her cauldron, and with how she, her son, I think it's Taliesin, was born in the cauldron. I just love folklore and mythology. But anyway, as you can see, I've chopped up, and this light's probably a bit bright, so I apologise. I might turn it away. Just a tad. So what you do when you're making medicine, make sure that the equipment you use is sterilised. The jars, for example, you just put in a pot, preferably propped up so the glass isn't sitting directly on metal. That's just the way I am. And then you bring it to the boil for 10 minutes. Let it boil for 10 minutes. And then you take them out with tongs, making sure they don't touch any surface. Now, this one, make sure, or try to make sure, that there's no water in the jar, because the water will mix with the menstruum, and the menstruum we're going to be using is vodka, 100% proof. So what we do is we just put the chopped orange peel into the jar, and then we put in the herbs, and really it's only half a cup of the dandelion root that you put in there, so we'll do that. And then you top up the rest with the vodka, and then it sits in the cupboard for a week. I go in every day, sometimes twice a day, to shake. Always got to smell herbs, I just can't help myself. To shake the medicine every day, and then after a week, and I'll show you that when the time comes, you strain it and bottle it. And then the medicine itself, you take 3 drops under the tongue 20 minutes before you eat, which helps get your digestive system moving. It's amazing to hear the gurgling that goes on. So I am going to put half a cup of the sifted, it's dried and sifted root. Doesn't sound like much, but it's a really powerful medicine. When I first took it, I was really surprised to hear my liver and everything gurgling. and it's a really great tonic. So that's roughly, actually that's a dead on half a cup. So I'm pouring that into the jar that I just put the orange peel in, and that is quite full, but because of the orange peel it's kind of, oh, I should have put the, well, it doesn't really matter, but it would have been good to put the orange peel in last, but I'm just being careful, mixing it up a bit so all the particles of the dandelion root go down to the bottom, and so it's not so, because usually what happens is you fill it up with usually halfway, but I'm not stressing about it. I should have bought a bigger jar actually, that's the small one, but this is potent medicine, so I don't mind that fact. Now usually it's about 10 mils, and that's about what I've got in the bottle left, so I'm just going to pour that in and make sure that it covers the herbs, and that's beautiful, it covered it, used it all up. Ironic that I'm using alcohol to make medicine when alcohol was a big issue when I was growing up, but I'm not going to harp on about my mother. So we like to make sure, and sometimes people put weights in. I don't bother to keep all the herbs under the level, and that's basically it. You put it in. So usually you can have a bigger jar, you can double the recipe. I'll put it in the description. Once you've done that, now I'm going to put plastic over the top. I didn't get that out because I'm here at the Penuel Retreat Centre. I don't know where it is. I should have looked for it before. But let's pretend that I put plastic or Glad wrap on the top there, just to stop the liquid oxidizing or reacting with the metal. Even though that's got a nice, you know, mason jars, the inner lid usually has a nice coating on it. It just stops the liquids from, you know, eating away at the metal, as it were. But what we do, we put that in a dark cupboard. Sorry, I'm holding it up and the camera's looking down. We put that in the cupboard for a week. Every day, at least once, go in and shake it, and then at the end of the week, you strain it and put it in a bottle. You'll be amazed at what it looks like. It's a beautiful orange elixir. It's very potent, and it's really good for indigestion as well. But I thank you, Kedudwin, for helping us with this medicine, and I imagine your energy is immersed in this jar so that when I take it, you can nurture me from the inside out. Blessed be. Thank you, and stay tuned. I'm going to also be sharing the procedure for making a medicine for an adaptogen for helping you ride the waves of stress and anxiety, and I'll be dedicating that to Kununos, like I said. Now I'm going to go and eat this lovely orange, and I look forward to sharing more content soon. Blessed be.